So in the end, with science, evolution, creationism, global warming, they're all perspectives.
Public debate about evolution, about climate change, and the role of the public school in teaching those issues.
There will always be controversial issues. I think, if you take a look at the great artists, Michelangelo, Da Vinci, they were all criticized for their beliefs. That's just kind of the way things go. That there will always be critiques, and y'all have always heard the victors tend to write history, right? I mean, we've all heard that. But my opinion, my personal opinion is, and this is speaking as a dad and then as a potential superintendent for this district, my opinion is very simple. I believe that our job is not to indoctrinate students. I believe our job is to teach them how to read, teach them how to write, teach them mathematics, and you present them information. But you empower them to think critically, and they'll come to the right conclusions, which will be their conclusions, not mine, not yours, their conclusions. I mean, what you believe today is what you believe today, not because somebody came up to you before the foreman elbowed you and said, hey, here's what you should believe. I mean, you came to your own conclusions. Our job as educators is to put the information before students and to allow them to debate it and to allow them to look at both sides of it, not to say, hey man, I mean, it's hot out, it's 105 right now outside, and it's because of climate change, because we're burning fossil fuels. It's a matter of saying some people believe, and other people say that it's a natural heating cycle, where we are in the planet's rotation around the universe, and there were times in which, we've all read that, there were times where rhinos took a bath in the Thames River and in the Rhine. I mean, they found fossils there. Well, I don't think that the cavemen were, lighting up the SUV and going. So that's one point of view. So there are those points of view, and you present them the information, and you let them debate it, you let them think about it, and you let them make their own decision. I don't believe that our job in education is to indoctrinate. I believe our job in education is to inform. And then as they grow up and they mature and they become active citizens and participants in a democratic nation and a republic, as they begin then to make their own conclusions off the information that they gave you.
As you are well aware, Dr. Sanchez, Mexican American Studies has dominated a lot of the conversation over the last number of years, and it's been a challenge for our community as well as issues up with the state. Talk about your perspective on Mexican American Studies, where you see the issues going, and how you would lead this community and the school district to where we need to be.
That's a great question. I thought about this a lot because I knew that was something that really defined Tucson for the nation. You'd say Tucson, oh, Mexican American Studies, people protesting, the signs, all of that. And so Tucson was known for that. And like I told you, I'm gonna give you all the honest answer. I know that y'all feel passionately about Mexican American Studies. I'm Latino. Sanchez, it's not by accident. I mean, my father and grandfather told me that my great-grandfather rode with Pancho Villa in the Revolution. So, I mean, hey, it explains my wild child, my 2-year-old. I'll say this to y'all, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. And I already expressed some of this earlier. Our job isn't to indoctrinate students. Our job is to provide students with information. And so some of the critiques of Mexican American Studies said we were indoctrinating children to hate Anglos, and some of them said, no, we were empowering them. I don't have enough information to know which one it was. I thought about this a lot because I knew that was something that really defined Tucson for the nation. You'd say Tucson, oh, Mexican American Studies, people protesting, the signs, all of that. I don't have enough information to know which one it was. I thought about this a lot because I knew that was something that really defined Tucson for the nation.
Do you believe that Mexican American Studies should be part of the curriculum in TUSD?
Yes or no?
Like I said, I was going to shoot straight. I'm going to shoot straight, and I'm going to say, Mexican American Studies should, if Irish American Studies, if East European American Studies, if European American Studies, if African American Studies, it all has to be in there. Because, I mean, there are white people who feel that discrimination is now upon them. There's a Supreme Court case right now. You know? And I understand the flip side of that, because as a Latino, I don't want anybody to say, oh, well, he got the job because they lowered the standard because he was Hispanic. No, the best person needs to get the job. So my point is, you know, on St. Patrick's Day, we need to be Irish Americans. On Cinco de Mayo, let's be Mexican Americans. In terms of Mexican American studies, there's value in knowing the history of the people who comprise this state and this nation. That's important. And I believe that our job is to not politicize education, but to provide information for students to make their own decisions. That's powerful. So our job isn't to say, you know, Cesar Chavez was right and people were wrong. Our job is to say, this is a view, this is a perception. And it's the student's job to critically evaluate the information and to come up with what they believe. Because as I said before, they'll come up with the right decision. It will be their decision. And we know that the teacher who teaches passionately, it's hard to take your view out of it. And I'm not saying we do that, but I say we balance what we present to students. So am I saying that Mexican American Studies should go away forever? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we need to understand, and I'll go back to this, whose dignity was violated to the point that there was legislation passed at the state level to target one class. Whose dignity was violated? What information wasn't clear and communicated well? I don't believe that it was a bad thing at first glance, but at the same point in time, somebody did, to the point that they passionately took it to the legislature, and it was, and there was a foundation set to eliminate the class. So it's a matter of what was it? What, you know, and I read through the, you know, the different articles and, you know, teaching children to hate, the Latino children to hate white people, and that it's only through blood that good's done. I mean,